morning, everybody. Welcome to video part 2 of this build. Now, I haven't done any editing yet, so I can't exactly predict the future, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the beginning of the second video of part 2 on this build. And judging by how long the first 2 bags took, which were over 4 hours to get to this point, which doesn't look too bad, but the fact that the bumper assembly alone took over 2 hours to build, you never know what each one of these bags is going to hold. I really didn't think it'd take me 2 hours to build a bumper on the car, but it did. So judging by the first 2 bags, it's probably going to be 2 bags per episode, so these aren't like 3-4 hour long videos. So it'll probably be broken up into 3 parts. Like I said, can't predict the future. We'll see how it actually turns out. But so far, very happy with the brand. I've never heard of this brand before, but I'd say 98% of the pieces slid right in. They feel good, and it's been an awesome build, but very challenging build. It's been a long time since I built something this complex, so maybe I'm just need to get the rust off or whatnot. But a lot of cool pieces. Last video, we ended on the bumper. I was kind of tired, so I didn't really give it a proper intro, so might as well say it now. If you like what you see, subscribe, comment, share the video. Hit me up on Instagram. Tell me what you like to see, any builds you want to see, any of that. Now that we got that self-plugging out of the way, we got the nice back on there, we got the diffuser, we got the famous taillights from the Huayra, and of course, the quad exhaust, which isn't really coming up there. There we go. The quad exhaust, which would have been cool if instead of black, they did it in some kind of like titanium color or something like that. That would have been cool. And also some missed opportunities, but it probably to keep the cost down on the kit, is like pieces like this. It would have been really cool on these black pieces, because if you're ever around a Pagani, everything's carbon fiber. If there was some way to make the pieces, have like a carbon fiber look to them, or something like that to give it that little extra pizzazz, Yeah, pizzazz. I know people use that today, so right. But I am looking forward to what bag 3 builds, what bag 3 is going to bring, and what I'm going to build with bag 3. I haven't looked into the manual yet, but I do have my trusty needle nose pliers. You've seen me use these a few times because when these pieces do connect, they connect. And honestly, with it getting late last night, I was misreading the instructions, so I was putting pieces where they weren't supposed to be. So the trusty pliers helped a lot with taking things apart. Also, the other thing that makes this challenging is, besides the complexity of the pieces that you're putting together and the sheer size of trying to angle this and put it together, is the fact that when you open one bag, like bag 2, I have like 400 pieces, and I need to find one little black one amongst 200 other black pieces. That's the other challenging part with this kit, is because I'm limiting myself, because I'm trying to video this. I got this region for all those parts, and sometimes in time lapse it looks like I fell asleep or something's going on. It's because I can't find the piece. And we knew from last video, one of the pieces was still in one of the bags that fortunately I did not throw away because I absolutely needed it. And it's kind of like the Where's Waldo of pieces, just trying to find it. And that's another thing that adds not only to the time, I'm sure a lot of time loss was due to me trying to find pieces, but also, complexity, finding pieces, it all adds up. That's why it took over 2 hours to build a bumper on this thing. But enough yammering on, let's get to bag 3. Step 162, this whole assembly is kind of fun because you got the suspension, you got the control arms, you have the hub, but a cool little add-on that they do with this kit is, well, it doesn't look like much when you know brakes and everything. They had you build this little assembly beside it, kind of simulate calipers, red calipers on the car, and I thought that was a cool little touch. Just a neat little thing, instead of just being like, all right, we got the suspension, we got everything set, we'll just plug the wheel on it, you could pretend it has brakes. But I don't know, personally I thought that was a nice little touch, to add a little, fake caliper sitting there, making it look like you got some kind of sports red calipers on it. I like it. we're on step 228 right now. And like most instructions, they give you the list of pieces, kind of tell you what, you're going to use to build the next thing you're going to build. So this is part of what I'm building right now. Now, after I constructed this piece, it's asking me to create something with this, but this isn't to attach to this piece, but it's not in the instructions, not listed as parts, or I should say, sorry, step 229. As the 228's right beside it, the way it's printed out. But 229, it's strange because all the pieces that they tell you to use that you have here, like I have 9 of these little connector pieces. If I make this extra piece that was not included in the instructions, I still have 3 additional that I never used. I have 2 of these that I didn't use, and I have these as well. It doesn't say make things 2 times, so I guess I'll build this extra piece here. Not sure what I'm going to do with it, and just hope it's correct. I feel like it's just a misprint in the book on step 229. So if you have this set and it makes sense to you, drop it in the comments, but otherwise just be on the lookout. It doesn't quite match what you're building to the extra parts you have. So I'll let you know if it comes to bite me in the butt for building this and adding and then missing something. On page 192, step 234, that's probably more of the correct set of parts to build this initial piece that I talked about just a little bit ago, where the number of pieces didn't match the final product. Yeah, so I think it was a misprint on that previous one, so 234 looks like how it should have been for this one, which was like 225 or something like that. So they did correct it when you have to build the matching partner to this piece. So at least they caught it there. It is finally complete. Bag 3. I wish it was the whole thing, but just bag 3. We're looking just over 3 hours and 50 minutes for pretty much the front end here. Now it is finally attached to the rest of the frame of the car, as we can see. But here's kind of the front look to it. We got our suspension work in there, our hub, our brakes, got all that. There's a lot that goes into the underneath of this, but it was a beast of a bag. Originally when I poured out all the pieces, put them together, I'm like, man, it's gonna take a while, and it did. Fingers are feeling it. It was definitely a lot of work to get bag 3 done. And to think, there's 8 total bags. Not all of them with as many pieces, but 8 total, I think, in the whole set. And it's starting to come together. We got the famous Huayra headlights with its unique design. I gotta do like little adjustments here because all these kind of flex and move a little bit, so you can adjust it to get it spot on, better looking. Right now, we're still building it. Final product, I'll get it all nicely aligned and everything. So some things I noticed in this set, you're gonna run into a lot of these like somewhat bent pieces. Pay attention to the number. They provide numbers in the instructions, and I even draw a picture for you so that way you can align it. Because at one point, I thought I was missing a piece, and it was actually just because there was one that had a slightly less angle to it, and I thought I grabbed the right one. I didn't. I had to undo that part of it and rebuild it, which fortunately it was in a spot that wasn't too hard to get to, so I was able to do it fairly quickly. And as you probably saw from the time lapse, I also had to do a little bit of brake repair, switch the rotor over to the correct side because I realized I put it on the wrong side from earlier. But fortunately that was easy, just pull it straight out, flip it around, put it back in, we're good. So I am starting to I've been excited about this build, seeing it outside the box. It's been a ton of work, but now that we're finally getting the front end, it's not just a bunch of, Rector set looking pieces, and we're hoping that'll be a car at some point. But this is the front end. I see bag 4 looks like we're going to be going into the roof section as well as the doors, which is going to be awesome. One step closer to this being complete. But yeah, almost 4 hours just for that bag. And I guess some tips for it if you decided to take on this set is look at the instructions very closely. After a couple hours, I started rushing through this. I was like, man, this is taking forever. Let me get it done. Although I'm enjoying it, I'm also, recording, trying to make this not a 3-day long video. And in doing so, I thought I saw something correctly and found out, nah, you didn't see it correctly and you get to redo it. Congratulations. So take your time with this build. Don't rush it. Make sure the little bent connector pieces here, you're making sure that those are the correct numbers. They may look alike, but they aren't alike. So ensure that you always double check the numbers on those. My one complaint that I have with this is the headlights. The design is fine. It has kind of a little, cool little headlight setup on the rear car. It's just these are connected to about 3 points. Just a simple snap on top of a piece. But then these, for the hood, put a lot of pressure on the outside of it, which makes them pop up quite a bit. As a matter of fact, is this one still loose? No, I tightened that one back down. But I can't tell you how many times I was building this and these headlights just popped up like that because they kept becoming disconnected. In the end, I'll probably super glue them, make sure they're going to stay in place forever, because any kind of shift with these parts here, 9 times out of 10, this pops up and I got to reconnect it. So That's my only gripe with bag 3, besides the fact that I spent 4 hours building it. But overall, pretty cool. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to get my first Huayra in the garage. It's 1/8 scale, it's close enough, right? And let's get on to bag number 4. It feels like bag 12, but bag 4, here we come. Bag 4 is complete. This one was relatively quick compared to the other bags at just about 1 hour and 39 minutes. Not too bad at all. A lot of pieces to connect though. There were quite a few pieces in this, and as you can see, we have our roof, we have the gull wing doors, in case you're wondering if I didn't knock off the part of the caliper and threw it off the table. But here we go. We got the gull wing doors going on our Huayra. It's gonna look good. Next is bag 5, but that will be for the next part because it is late. I have been building for hours, and knowing bag 3 was almost 4 hours in itself, I nearly worked a full-time job putting bags 3 and 4 together. It is crazy how many pieces, the complexity. I mean, it's very challenging. It definitely challenges you, and I do appreciate that about this build. And honestly though, I feel like with these kind of builds, you gotta really like the end product. I love Pagani. That's my favorite car brand out there. So even with all the soreness in my fingertips, the amount of time that we've dedicated to this, and we're only getting to bag 5, it's because of my love for the vehicle. Now I know this part is gonna be really time-lapsed just because bag 3 took nearly 4 hours. But if this is something you're enjoying, if you like seeing this crazy, complicated build, if this is what the kind of sets you would like to see, you know, this is 1/8 scale. This is not a not a tiny car by any means. If this is what you want to see more on the channel, let me know. Put it in the comments, like, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram, see the next big car build that we're gonna have. I do have another Technic set that's lined up that's not this size. It's a good size one, but nowhere near this size for the future. So I do have one of those. And yeah, it's time for bed. It is late. And I'll catch you in part 3.